Welcome to the video lecture on method of moment distribution. The method is basically a displacement method, as we have discussed about the method of slope deflection. Similarly, it is also a displacement method in which the displacement at the joints, they are the basic unknowns. To understand the method, we need to understand some basic terms and steps how the method is followed. So in the lecture we'll discuss what the method is, what are the different important terms which are to be used while using this method, what sign conventions we are going to use, how to compute the fixed end moments which are the primary requirement to start the method, and what are the steps which are to be followed. The method of moment distribution, basically it was introduced by Professor Hardy-Cross in 1930, and it's a very convenient method for analyzing the statically indeterminate beams and grid frames like quarter frames and multi-story frames, and it uses the tools so that when number of unknowns are too large, we can have a reasonably good solution with less tedious effort. The method will utilize certain terms. For example, the first term, which is very much important, is the stiffness, and this stiffness can be defined as the moment required to produce a unit rotation or say slope at a simple end of a member, and usually it is denoted by small k. The stiffness would be computed for two cases: when both the ends are hinged and when both the ends are fixed, or one end is fixed and one end is hinged, like this. Say let us consider the first case. When both the ends are hinged, then the moment applied here at A to have a rotation at A theta AB equal to 1 would be equal to how much? Would be equal to 3 EI upon L. So this is what? This is the stiffness at A for the beam AB under consideration. Alright. This answer can be obtained by drawing the analogous conjugate beam and solving further, which we have already discussed in the case of method of slope deflection. Next, if we take that other example where the end B, far end, is fixed, the near end where the work is being done is hinged, the moment M is applied at near end to rotate the end A by theta AB here, then the moment required for the unit rotation at end A can be computed by the writing down the slope deflection equation, and the answer is something 4 EI upon L. Okay, when the far end is fixed, then the moment required is 4 EI upon L. When the far end is hinged, it is the 3 EI upon L. Then how much moment is carried forward from one end to the other end, or I should say how much moment is induced at the far end when some moment is applied at the near end. Say for example, at this node I, if at this node I moment Mi has been applied, causing the rotation theta I at the node I, then some amount of moment is produced at the node J. Then how much is the value of this node J? For this we can generate the this conjugate beam, analogous conjugate beam, when the moment M has been applied here and moment Mj has been induced at the end B, then it is being noticed that a moment applied at near end induces at a fixed far end a moment equal to half of its magnitude and in the same direction. Notice here, it was this Mi was a anticlockwise moment, and at J, Mj is again one anticlockwise moment, and the magnitude of the Mj is half of the moment applied at A. You can notice here, the solution can be carried out with the help of the preparing a conjugate beam and then analyzing it for the moment at I and moment at J. Next is what? We need to find out that if there are n number of members meeting at joint O, say here for example here you can notice that this joint is joint O, and there are 4 members, member 1, member 2, member 3 and member 4 are meeting at the joint, and one moment M is applied at the joint and in the anti-clockwise direction. Notice one thing very much carefully, the moment M is able to cause a rotation theta at the joint. Means what? All the members meeting at joint will rotate by the same amount of theta, same angle theta in the same direction, which is of the direction of applied moment. Then the entire moment applied at joint O would be shared by each members in certain ratio. Say, let us say member 1 is sharing the moment M1, member 2 is sharing the moment M2, member 3 is sharing the moment M3, and member 4 is sharing the moment M4. So then the distribution factor is to be computed at a joint. What is that? Is the ratio of the moment shared by the member at a joint. Say in the given example, take an example, the moment M1 which has been shared up by the member 1. Member 1 is hinged at the far end, and M1 is what? 3, since it is hinged, 3 E1 I1 upon L1 into theta. Alright, so this I can say stiffness of the member 1. Say simply I can write down like this, K1 theta. Similarly for moment M2, K2 theta, and for the member M3, K3 theta, and for the member M4, K4 theta. And since it is a sharing kind of mechanism, so M1 is to M2 is to M3 is to M4 equals K1 is to K2 is to K3 is to K4, since theta is common amongst all of them. Since the moment applied at joint M is equal to the sum of all the moments, so at the bottom you can notice that mathematically we can write down M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus M4 equals K1 theta plus K2 theta plus K3 theta and plus K4 theta, and finally from here we can obtain theta equals, the value of theta can be computed. Since this M1 equals K1 theta, that is what? Now place the value of theta here, K1 total moment upon summation of total stiffness. In other words, I can write them like this, K1 upon K1 plus K2 plus K3 plus K4 into M, that is what? K1 upon summation of K into M. So this M1, in general I can write down this Mi can be written down that Ki upon summation of K into M. So a moment applied at a joint where several members meet will be distributed amongst the members in the proportion to their stiffnesses. Notice here, this summation of K is the total sum of the stiffness at the joint, and moment in the member M1, member 1, that is M1, is going to be multiplied with the stiffness K1 of the member. Okay, so if I say M upon sigma K is a constant value, then multiply K1 and you will find the answer. So the distribution factor is what? Is the ratio of the stiffness of the member with the total stiffness at the joint. Alright. Then the sign conventions which we are going to adopt. Moments at support, clockwise moments will take positive, anti-clockwise will take negative. Rotations will take clockwise rotations positive, anti-clockwise rotations negative. Settlement of support, if the, as per the figure shown here, support B settles down, then at both the ends anti-clockwise moments is being produced. You can notice here this moment which is anti-clockwise in nature is why? Because this moment is required to maintain the slope 0 at this end A, and at B it is again anti-clockwise. Why? Because to maintain the slope at end B 0 at the end B. Alright. Then this we have already discussed in case of slope deflection method. how to find out the fixed end moments. So there are standard cases. If the point load is acting at the mid-span section of the given fixed beam, then the moments at the end, at the left end it is minus PL upon 8, and at the right end it is the plus PL upon 8, like this. Maybe it may be a case of the point load not acting at center but having a distance small a from left end, small b from the right end. Then the moments which are induced here at right and left end, they are mentioned here like this. You can remember, you can memorize these, because you have to use these properties many times in the problems when you are really going to solve some problems. Similarly, if there is a UDL acting on the entire span, the moments induced due to the UDL acting upon the entire span, they can be computed like this. They are all standard cases and they can be used as it is in the questions when you are solving the numerical problems. Maybe there is a UVL acting upon the span, then the induced moments may be something like this as mentioned here. You can remember them. If a moment is applied at some position, distance small a from left end, then the moment induced at left end is something like this, and moment induced as right end is something like this. Settlement of support would be taken as minus 6a delta upon L square, because it is initially anticlockwise in nature for the case shown here. If the case reverses, that means what? Support A goes downward and support B remains at the same position, then this minus sign will become positive sign. The magnitude will remain same more or less. So what kind of steps are required to be followed? Step 1 is what? To treat each and every part of the given structure as a fixed at the ends and find out the fixed end moments. Then compute the distribution factor at all joints and enter the starting moments in the moment distribution table. That means what? We are going to make a table here in which we have to enter the data from the step 1 and from the step 2. Step 1 is what? It is all about the fixed end moments due to the applied loads, as well as if there is any settlement case, then fixed end moments due to the settlement case, they are to be also recorded and added to the fixed end moments obtained due to the loads acting upon the span. Then enter the entire data along with the distribution factor in the moment distribution table. Then balance the moments at each and every joint as per the distribution factor. Then carry over half of the moment to the far end of the given beam, as we have learned previously that the half of the moment is to be carried to the far end of the beam if the end is fixed. If the end is hinged, then nothing is to be carried. Notice carefully. If you are working at a joint whose far end is fixed, then some moment will definitely be carried. But if the far end is hinged or simply supported, no moment should be carried to the simple end or the hinged end. Repeat this above two processes number of times so that the moment which are being obtained at one particular joint or joints, they are negligible in nature. Then obtain the algebraic sum of the all moments at any joint or at all joints to find the answer of the moment at those joints. These values are bending moments which you have obtained now at joints. They can be further used for finding out the displacements, reactions, or anything whatsoever you wanted to know. Okay, so we'll practically follow this entire method while solving some numerical problems in next lecture. I hope that the method was clear to you and you are able to understand and you are ready to use the method with the real numerical problems which we are going to take up in the next video lecture. So thank you.